Hey everybody, welcome back to Building Your Empire with SophieZo. I'm excited for today's guest. She's unique, she's cool, she's magical. We're all magical, but she's really magical. And we're going to bring you some really different advice today. So let me introduce you to Carolyn Dunne. She's a scent artist, jeweler, and founder of Escentuelle, lives her passion by empowering women to pursue what they truly desire in life. She guides her clients in leveraging all the senses in creative activities, allowing them to release worn out expectations and receive direction instead from the voice whispering deep inside them. Carolyn partners with life coaches and stylists, as well as professionals in creative and performance art, to tailor a path of self discovery for each client through creative excursions of their own choosing. Her multi-sensory program allows her clients to explore their own creativity and create talismans, such as custom perfume or one-of-a-kind jewelry that amplify their intentions for the person they want to be and the life they want to lead. For a free guide on using your senses to uncover your heart's desire, go to essentuelle.com/senses, and we'll talk more about that toward the end of the show, too. Carolyn, my friend, welcome to the show. So excited to have you today.
I'm so happy to be here, Sophie. Thank you so much for the invitation.
All righty, well, we're going to jump in and I'm going to ask you the question that I ask all my guests. What
Excellent.
is your best advice for helping business owners get from where they are to where they want to go? Essentially, from where they are this level to the next level and beyond.
Okay, well, as you mentioned in my introduction, I have kind of a different view on things. I'm not here with a lot of technical tasks for you to do. I think there's a lot of information out there that's wonderful. I'm really looking more at the person and the mindset and the feeling, the emotion that helps you to propel all those tasks forward in a joyful way to make you reach your goals faster.
I love it. So let's dive in. What is what does scent and sensory and your senses have to do with success and achieving goals? Where does that magic that you do fit in?
It's a great question. And yeah, it may sound a little bit like magic, but it's really, really elemental. It comes down to nature. So I don't know about you, but certainly in building my business, I've been in this business for over 6 years now. But, I've taken all different courses and worked with different mentors and learned the different tasks and systems that you need to run your business. But the key piece that I found that I was missing, that I've worked really hard to um, kind of fill out and bring forward in my business, is me, which sounds really kind of silly. But you go into business with an idea, and maybe you're really good at something, and you want to share that with the world, and that's incredible. But I would say the majority of folks, including myself, go at it from a very mental standpoint. You're always in your head, you're always thinking about, like, what's the next big idea, how am I going to execute it on that, what's the money, who do I need to contact, which is all super important information. But one thing that I've learned over the last few years is creation, and that's essentially what we do as business owners, is that we create on a day-to-day basis in our businesses for our clients and help our clients create. It's really a matter of not just the action part and not just the idea part, although the two of them together are required to move forward. The piece that's often missing in the middle is emotion. And especially as business owners, imagine that most of the people you're speaking to out there, they know how hard it is to run your business, and you really have to love it inside out to keep facing those days where you're building or you're reaching a problem and you're having to overcome. And so you have to come from a place of, what they call in sort of the manifestation world, a burning desire. You desperately want to help people or get your product across. So desire is really about emotion. It's about opening yourself up to possibility. And this is where it gets a little woo-woo. And I completely admit that. I call myself a little woo, often thinking about creating a podcast myself on that. Like, you can just be a little woo and you'll do really well. And we come from a very what could be termed a really masculine world when it comes to business. That's the modality that's used. It's the example that we, for the most part, have grown up with. Certainly, somebody from my generation, there weren't as many female examples in the workplace, especially at the executive level or CEO level. And those that were there were adopting very male characteristics to get there. Because I grew up in the 80s. It was all about the shoulder pads and look as masculine as possible, make them forget you're a girl, and you'll do fine. So it took a while for me when I started my business to like step back and go, oh, I can wear a dress and be taken seriously. Is that really a thing? And it should be a thing. I think we're still working on it, but it should be a thing. But the more important part is to open yourself up to that. And please don't bristle. I understand words have a lot of charge, but to open yourself to the more feminine side, traditional feminine characteristics of being very big-hearted and in your emotion and open to receiving and future dreaming. Because if you think about just general creation of down to the cellular level, it takes, a masculine and a feminine cell to come together and create a human. And that's happening all the time in nature. And especially this time of year, we're coming up to May Day, or what's known as Beltane in the magical world, where we're really celebrating, the awakening of the world again. Everything's coming into green, things are blooming, and there were traditionally celebrations of creation, including, at its raw instincts, sex. Now I'm not necessarily promoting going that far, but I am saying that in order to really set things off on the right path initially and to help them grow, you need both sides. You need the idea, you need the action, the thoughts and strategy that you would traditionally associate with the masculine. And then you also need the wide thinking, dreamy side, the openness to opportunity and excitement and ambition from the feminine side. So all this really comes down to is, I like to boil it down to the core basics of that creation. It has to do with the senses. You're not going to get excited about something or someone unless they have attracted you in some way. Is it something they say? Is it the sound of their voice? Is it the feel of their hand in yours? Is it, the scent they're wearing or their natural skin scent? Is it how they're dressing? So when you get more in touch with your natural side, and this is where it sounds woo-woo, when you get more in touch with nature and feeling all of your senses, you're more open to all the possibilities, and you're not cutting out what's really required for the the creation process. Does that sort of answer your question? I see like you still have more questions behind that.
Oh, I always have questions because I want to this is really great. And don't worry about the woo woo because I'm woo woo and a lot of
Woo!
my people are woo woo. So, and that's why I'm like,
Excellent.
it is magic. And I believe in magic in the sense of, I mean, yes, I'm a Harry Potter fan, but I also believe in the magic of life and the magic
Right.
of nature and all of those things. And you and I both study under the same coach right now, and we're, even in the laws of the universe, sexual energy, both the act and the male and the female energy of creation is what is required to be successful in any endeavor, whether it's personal or business. And I love that you wrap that into your business and help other people achieve their goals of personal or business or both through a totally different modality. And, I mean, yes, there's coaching, and yes, there is, creation in the sense of, you can do vision boards and you can do mind maps and you can do all those things, which are all very helpful tools. But to get in the right state of mind to create those things, nobody thinks about, and
Mhm.
they think about their environment, what's physically around them, but they don't think about what scent is in the air. They don't think about, because I mean, are you sitting by a garbage dumpster trying to
Sure hope not.
create things? And is that very
Yeah.
conducive to your creative juices? Probably not.
No.
And if you think
Exactly.
about it, that's, it's like, oh my God, yeah, if I were sitting next to a stinky trash can, even here in my office, it'd be like, I would be distracted and I wouldn't be able to do anything, much less create something really amazing for my clients. So
Hmm.
let's talk about what you do with your homemade. To me is not the best word for what you do, because there's a whole homemade is way different than what you do, but
Yeah, it's more like an artisan.
yes, you're the
Yeah,
artisan side of you and your business, where you create. Let's talk about the scents first, the
sure.
perfumes, and then let's talk about the jewelry, because I'm big on jewelry and I forgot to wear a necklace today. I feel bad. But
That's a sign that we have to figure something out for you.
I have my wolf earrings in for a reason, because there's wolf energy and there's, I believe in animal totems and animal energy and animal signs. So, I understand that, but let's explain it to my audience. For those who are woo and probably think they understand it, but have never really, especially the scent side of things. But those who aren't as woo, and we'd be like, okay, so what does smell have to do with me creating a business and making money and being successful?
Yeah. So there are a few aspects of it. So I'll try to take it one at a time without dwelling too long in some of the things, especially that are familiar. But I found it interesting that you mentioned like vision boards in laying out your strategy for, either for your life or for your business. I think that's really important. But often when you're creating something like that, you're in your head, you're thinking and you're seeing, obviously, because you're cutting out pictures or taking them down from the internet. But you need to take things a step farther. And one of the things that certainly our coach has taught us, and I've learned from several other folks, is using your imagination to actually picture yourself, not just pictures of everyone else, but like, what does that new life or having achieved that goal feel like? So you're sitting there in yourself and you are dropping yourself into that moment, which of course takes some quiet. Obviously, you want a conducive environment. I wouldn't say you have to have a specific scent for that, but we'll get to that in a moment. But more importantly, when you really, again, tapping into the emotion of it, getting the emotion to drive whatever this goal is, you need to experience all of your senses in that fictional moment. So if you're there, say you're dreaming of being a speaker, what does it feel like in the crowd? Is the air really heavy? Is it charged? Do you smell, everybody's coffee because it's a morning session? Are you there? What colors are around you? How does it feel? Are you holding a microphone? What is the texture of that? Like the more you can put your physical body in, the more real it's going to feel to you, because you're not just your mind. You are, as much as, we love our ideas and, we want to be very elevated. The reality is all of the ideas and even the divine ideas, the things that we get from the universe, again, from the woo, it still comes through a human being, and we are animals. And for centuries, the big thinkers have tried to ignore that, which is why scent is really not talked about very much, to be honest. There's a whole history of it. But so when you're imagining your life, things that help you drop into that moment where you're achieving your goal are really important. So the faster you can get to that moment and sit in that moment and picture it and feel it and run it through your mind and start living your life as if you're in that moment, even if you haven't achieved it yet, that takes more than just thought. It takes what you're surrounding yourself with. It takes, reminding yourself of that goal and what that feels like so that you're not taking a different path. And so to me, scent is a celebration, and it's the only sense out of all of ours that drop you immediately into an emotional reaction before an intellectual one. It goes straight to that sensory inside your brain that makes you think, oh, I love that, or I don't like that, or it reminds me of so and so, before you go, oh, it's vanilla, or oh, that's lavender or rose. So to me, that somatic experience is the like just a fast track to whatever you want to achieve. So there have been studies made around, studying for exams and maybe having diffusing a certain essential oil while you're studying for that exam, and then having a little bottle of that on your desk while you're taking the exam. You recall your answers more quickly because you're remembering being there studying from that textbook or whatever notes you were looking at. So memory is very, very keenly linked to the sense of smell. So for me, being able to create something that helps you see yourself in that goal, or helps you feel as if you are that new person that you're trying to become, is super important, because you can create this and spray it on. And just like we were talking about before, of like women entering the higher echelons of the workforce, we've always been there, but to be in executive positions, it started with shoulder pads. It started with power suits. Okay. And perfume, and God, thank God that that doesn't exist anymore, because I'm already built like a football player. I always had to cut my shoulder pads out. But, to be able to be yourself, but still have that feeling that's almost, personal to you. No one else has to know that, like, okay, this is my power interview outfit, or this is the scent that I wear that charges me up to like pick up the phone and make that sales call. So that's a big part of what I do with scent, is helping people explore who they are and what they love. And all I do is custom fragrance. So you see behind me, I have a range of ingredients for super feminine to super masculine, and usually people fall somewhere in between. And you're creating each different element yourself. You're adding it all together with, of course, my guidance, to know that not only are you creating something that you're going to love, that wears well on your skin and makes you smile during the day, but if you go into it with the intention of, this is the person I aspire to be, or you just want to celebrate yourself and give yourself more confidence, like, this is the pure expression of me. I'm not smelling like everyone else on the street. From a romantic standpoint, you're grateful not to smell like the ex. You never know what somebody wore before. You don't need that association, right?
True. Yeah.
Yeah. So, or a parent, even worse. Oh, my mom used to wear that. That's dead in the water for that romance. But
Right.
for a business person, it's a part of branding. It's a part of expressing who you are. I don't believe in super strong smells in terms of like how far they range out around the person. I think it should be a little bit more of a personal experience, and that's the ingredients I work with. But if somebody walks up to you and introduces themselves at say a networking event, you may, if they make an impression on you, you may remember, oh, they're the one who had that, bright red shirt, or this beautiful necklace, or a great purse. We don't want to be superficial like that, but we remember certain things that help us, to little touch points. And scent can be just as important, and even more so, because the next time they see you, that smell may be what reminds them first, before you have to go, oh, remember we met at such and such a couple of weeks ago and we talked about this and that and the other. They may go, oh, that's that beautiful scent that I smelled. So this is all to say, like, I believe it's scent is an expression of personality. It can be aspirational if you want it to be. And every time you spray that on, it's like you're putting your intention out into the universe of, hey, this is what I want from my life. This is the person I'm walking into. And so you spray it and you literally walk into that cloud of scent. It's a little way of, in the manifestation world, of putting the intention out into the universe, of reminding the energy that flows around us that this is my goal, this is what I'm working for. But you don't have to engage your brain every time. It happens every time you spray it. And you're putting that out there for others to smell and amplify that energy as well. So that's the half of it. Try not to get too deep in here and lose anyone. But the other half of it really does come back to the concept of creation and Beltane and feminine and masculine and so forth. What we're here to do, because we were, brought into this world as beings instead of, just light energy or whatever you believe we are, a soul, whatever it is. We're here in human bodies. We're meant to live a human experience, and we're meant to create things. And manifestation is just another way of saying creating. It comes from, like, working with your hands. You're creating something with your hands. And the energy doesn't have hands. We're the ones who have them. So we're here to create. And so if you're creating a goal, it could be something that's long term. It could be 3 months from now, months from now. That's a little bit harder to pinpoint on a daily basis. It's something that takes a long period of time. but you want that spirit of creativity to power it, because that's what you're doing over that long period of time. So little things that you can do with your hands while you're setting the intention for that overarching goal is another way of amplifying that energy. So not only, so if you were to make a custom fragrance or pick, whatever stone you want in your jewelry, because I work with stones, um, you are it's an act of creation. You're already doing something you were put here to do, and you're fueling whatever intention you have behind it. So it's like you're doubling and down on that intention for your future, that intention for achieving your goal.
I love that. And it just really struck a chord in me in a good way because, yes, I have a monetary goal in my business, but my ultimate goal where that money is going to go is a beach house in Florida and living the beach life.
Hmm.
And while my office is a Harry Potter office, I can create the ocean beach effect with sound effects like I have an Alexa show next to me on the desk. I can have it play ocean waves. I could even get, little like Zen sand
Zen
pit
garden,
thing, so to
yes.
speak,
Yep.
to be, to represent the beach. And then I could get, next time I go to the beach, I could bring home a jar of ocean water. The thing I cannot bring home with me is the
The
smell.
smell. Yes.
The ocean, the smell that's on the ocean breeze, the salt water, whatever it is. And if I had that in my office with those other pieces, I could create my beach life right here in Nashville, Tennessee, where there is no beach, there
Mm.
is no ocean. I mean, yeah, I have some lakes nearby, but it's not the same
Not the same
thing.
thing, no.
And I could do that. And so it's like, it's inspiring me to go, oh, wait, I have taken my environment up for work this far. And I can actually elevate it now because, and you and I've talked about scents for myself and everything. And it's like, wait, I don't need a scent for myself. I need it for my office.
Environment, yeah.
So my office can smell like the beach and I can
Hmm.
have my beach life smell, sound, and look with a little thing of sand, etc., to really energize me and to really put that out in the universe so that I can manifest the revenue I want to manifest in order to manifest the beach house of my dreams come the end of 2023 when we want to do this. So, you know, I don't know about my listeners, but I just got a whole new idea of what to do with my environment that I didn't even think of. So, when we're done with this podcast episode, we're going to talk because I
Yes,
want to
we
talk
will.
about seeing about creating some sort of ocean scent, beach scent for my office because that'll be
Hmm.
so cool. So, well, and that being said, it's about time for us to wrap up this episode, Carolyn. So tell everybody where they can find you, tell them about that free offer you have, and give them, a little bit of way to reach out to you to find out more.
Sure. So you can find me on the internet at escentuelle.com, and I'll spell that because I know it's not a normal word. ESCENTUELLE.com. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram at Escentuelle by Carolyn Dunne, and Dunne is Dunne. But I'm sure there's some information in the show notes.
Yes.
And one of the things, as Sophie has said, is I've created just a little download to give you a feel for what the heck I'm talking about, how you can use your senses to help set some intentions for whatever goal you want to achieve, whether it's personal or business. And even more important, just bringing more joy into your daily life by the mindfulness of experiencing not just the vision, not just the sound, but the smell, the taste, the feel, because we're here to live a joyful life, and having that joy is going to give you the energy to achieve your goals just as much as a plan will.
I love that so much. And that is so true. I mean, I come from a place of, experience with essential oils and things like that. But you take essential oils to a whole different level because it's not just essential oils. It can be a perfume. It can be different formats of scent that fit into the goal, the picture, the vision. And so many people don't think about the smell part, the scent part. And this isn't necessarily along the same lines, but as someone who watches crime shows a lot on TV,
Yeah.
when, especially Criminal Minds, when it was on, when they would take a victim or a witness of a crime back in time, so to speak, they would ask about, what do you see? What do you smell? What do
Yes,
you hear? And, that makes sense for what they're doing, but it makes sense for you setting your vision and your goals for your life and your business, because that end goal, whatever that looks like, it doesn't just look like something. It
exactly.
feels like something. It
Yes.
smells like,
3D.
all of that. So yes, I
Mhm.
love it. So this has been amazing, Carolyn. Thank you so much for being on the show today. I'm going to say goodbye to the listeners. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and definitely go check out Carolyn. We will have all the links and all of her information in the show notes. It's been a great pleasure having you on today. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see my listeners again next week.
Thank you. It's been a joy.